Hello, my name is Benjamin Hart. I'm an American attorney and the Managing Director of Integrity Legal here in Bangkok, Thailand. As the title of this video suggests, we're discussing retirement visa status here in Thailand, and we're specifically bringing up a topic that was a lot bigger, I should say, as a relative matter on this channel. It was a lot more major topic some 6 months ago than it has been recently, but it's something I think it's worth noting and worth thinking about as we're working through the ramifications of the coronavirus outbreak here in Thailand. So the topic we're discussing is medical insurance for retirees in retirement visa status here in Thailand. In prior videos on this channel, I've gone into a lot of analysis on what I call the Thai retirement visa label bifurcation. So they, in a sense, there's this cosmetic differentiation between retirement status, which is garnered in Thailand via extension in O status, versus OA status, which generally speaking is obtained via a visa issued by Ministry of Foreign Affairs abroad. And then once someone comes to Thailand, they continue to extend in that OA category. Now, I've gotten into this at length with many different people. I think I got into, one of the videos on this topic or comments I made ended up on Thai Visa, and I went back and forth with folks on this. So I want to delineate exactly where I stand on this before we get into medical insurance generally. So specifically speaking, what we're talking about, again, there's this difference in the way that Thai immigration here internally extends retirement visas using the label O retirement visa versus Ministry of Foreign Affairs, which uses the label OA. And as I've gone into in great length in other videos, if you go to the actual law on this topic, which is the Immigration Act back in '79, it all falls under what I call the catch-all category, which basically designates visas pursuant to further ministerial regulations. If you go back to the relevant section of the law which defines the different visa categories, there is no retirement visa. There is no O retirement visa laid out in the law, and there is no OA retirement visa laid out in the law. It just says, or other categories as deemed by ministerial regulations. So immigration created the retirement visa category under the O category. Now you can call it O or O-A. This was all created regulatorily. It was not created in the act itself. That's the first thing you have to understand. It was created pursuant to regulation. And let's be clear, regulation can change. It can change much more easily than the law can change. So the law, to change the Immigration Act directly, an amendment would have to be made to the act, presumably via Parliament, and it would have to go through, it would have to be published in the Royal Gazette, etc., in order to become the law of the land. Whereas a regulation can be changed. Now, there is a process of changing rules and regulations. There's a formal process that has to be adhered to, but it can be done in a much different manner than changing the law. So that's the first thing folks need to understand with respect to this topic, is that these were created under a regulatory scheme. They can change under a regulatory scheme, or they could be extinguished under a regulatory scheme. So retirement visas were created regulatorily. Now, for whatever reason, and I've really dug around to try to find the history on this, and I can't figure it out, I personally think Thai Ministry of Foreign Affairs began just creating this designation O-A because A means annual, and they were issuing a one-year annual visa at the various consulates and embassies that were issuing retirement visas abroad. Then when they came in, that label follows along, and the new regulations specifically note O-A. So they continue to use this label. Meanwhile, there's this O that just kind of is hanging around out there that is done by Thai immigration here internally when you extend status in Thailand in O status. So if you have an O visa and you extend it based on retirement, you're extending only an O visa status, not OA visa status. The OA sticks with you. I've done videos on this. I think to some extent this may have been done, or now that it's been inadvertently created, it's been allowed to continue to sort of provide a grandfather clause for folks who were in retirement visa status before the regulations were promulgated that required medical insurance. So basically they said, look, if you were here as of the end of October 2019 when we promulgated medical insurance requirements and you had a no extension, we're just going to keep extending you under those terms. That fits with the overall immigration paradigm we've seen with respect to retirement visas. For example, the grandfathering in of different financial thresholds, 200,000, 400,000, etc., for 200,000 and 400,000 for folks who were in Thailand before a certain date in retirement status. They are not required to have as much money on hand in the bank compared to folks today who go for retiree status. So there is sort of a, for lack of a better term, and I hate using this term in Thailand's civil law system, there is precedence for this kind of grandfathering. So that's the backstory on this. That's the context. There's this sort of internal differentiation of designation between O and OA. And OAs definitely need medical insurance, and these O retirees, for whatever reason, it's just resulted in the fact that those folks, at least at the time of this video, are not being required as often. And I've gone into this at length in another video. I've had folks that have showed up to our office. I've had folks contact me that say, hey, my O retirement visa has been, they won't renew it without medical insurance. In the two cases we dealt directly with that, it's my opinion they were wanting them to switch over to marriage visa status. In some other cases, folks were telling me that, and I didn't get any further context because I think they just threw up their hands and went on their way. They didn't really want to deal with it anymore. They kind of got exasperated. But the thing to take away from this video is, yes, I saw folks who ended up switching over to O marriage status because they were having issues renewing their retirement status in light of these medical exam issues coming down. And I've got videos on this channel at length going into the information about that. What I'm making this video for is, I think coronavirus is going to be a major shakeup. The aftermath of this is going to be substantial. And I think maybe not necessarily on an across-the-board policy level are they going to make a lot of changes with respect to Thai immigration, but I think COVID-19 is going to have tremendous ramifications on the immigration apparatus. Not today, not tomorrow, but over the course of the next 6 to 9, maybe 12 months, I think immigration is going to be doing a lot of things in the aftermath of this. And one of those things may very well be the reassessment of whether or not, or how they're going to apply policies related to medical insurance for retirees in Thailand. One of the major concerns for folks coming in the early phases of the restrictions being imposed on travelers coming into Thailand, and it sort of culminated with basically a ban of any inbound flights. But the one major concern was that foreigners show that they have medical coverage, that they can prove that they have insurance. And I think it's not a major stretch, sort of a major logical stretch, to see immigration authorities saying, you know what, this COVID-19, it was a major issue. It's definitely an issue for folks of an older age, and it can result in a lot of strain on the resources of a given country and a given economy's medical care system. We're going to want to go ahead and broaden out our policy with respect to medical insurance. Not saying that's going to happen tomorrow. And let me be clear, this is speculation on my part, but it's speculation based on dealing with analyzing Thai immigration over the long haul. I've been doing it now for a number of years, and I don't think that it's inconsistent with the overarching policies and the policy initiatives we're going to see in the aftermath of COVID-19. I don't think it's inconsistent at all with policies that exist now and the policies that are likely to come about in the aftermath of this thing. So the thing to take away from this video, don't panic, don't fret. That's not my purpose in making this. I make these videos and videos like this where I do kind of speculate on something like this, mostly to inform the viewer. so that you can be aware of the possibility that, yeah, in the future they may be requiring medical insurance for anyone who's looking to retire in Thailand.